You know, we've been led to believe that sharing your spiritual journey is essential for validation. It's a common narrative that echoes through so many communities. But what if I told you that this very act of sharing, this impulse to discuss your awakening, could be the thing holding you back from true progress? It's intriguing, isn't it? Most people enthusiastically engage in these conversations, thinking that by making their experiences public, they create connections, build relationships, and garner understanding. They believe that the more they share, the more they grow. But here's what they often miss. Some topics can stall your growth. Imagine this scenario. You're trying to walk on water while still clinging to the shoreline. You may splash around, exerting all your energy, but the reality is you won't really get anywhere. You see, many individuals find themselves caught in the trap of endless discussions about existence, the nature of reality, or even the moral choices of others. They exhaust themselves in loops of comparison, judgment, and analysis. It becomes a cycle that could leave them feeling drained rather than enlightened. I once knew someone who delved deeply into dissecting the nuances of intention and the law of attraction. For years, they immersed themselves in analyzing, questioning, and discussing these concepts. Yet in doing so, they ultimately ignored the still small voice within, the quiet part that craved their attention the most. They would often talk about how the universe responds to intention, but all that exploration outside themselves kept them from recognizing their true self, the embodied wisdom waiting patiently beneath the surface. Here's what I want you to understand. When you share your journey without being grounded in your truth, you risk reliving old patterns. It's as if you're caught in a web of endless dialogues that take the place of actual lived experiences. Rather than breaking free, you find yourself tethered to a cycle that only spins faster. The comfort of sharing becomes a distraction, preventing you from diving deep into the transformative journey your soul is guiding you toward. Now consider this. What if the act of sharing doesn't serve your growth as much as it once seemed? In our culture, we're conditioned to think that expression is synonymous with progress, yet the real transformation often takes place in the silence, the moments where you allow your thoughts to simply exist without the need for external validation. This shift in perspective could redefine how you engage with your own journey. You see, the world has conditioned us to believe that the more we share, the more validated we become. But what if true validation lies beyond the realm of words? I invite you to take a moment and reflect. When was the last time you sat with your thoughts? When did you allow yourself silence without the impulse to share those thoughts with anyone? That's where transformation occurs. It's in those quiet moments that clarity arises, where the murky waters of thought settle and the true depth of your awareness surfaces. You begin to acknowledge your inner voice, the one that speaks in whispers rather than shouts. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Embracing stillness doesn't mean rejecting dialogue. It simply means recognizing when conversation is useful and when it isn't. Think about how powerfully you can engage with your higher self in those moments. It's not about shutting down conversation entirely. It's about discerning when the chatter adds value and when it merely distracts you from your authentic self. Perhaps consider this. What if you held the key to accessing profound insights by simply being still? Being present without the need to vocalize your every thought can lead you to an authentic relationship with yourself. The more you cultivate this inner landscape, the more grounded you become in your truth. And as you establish this relationship with silence, you begin to navigate your journey more effectively, with wisdom rather than exhaustion. It's not about sidelining your experiences or the wisdom you've gained along the way. Instead, it's about enhancing your relationship with your inner self, allowing your intuition and inner voice to guide you effortlessly towards authentic growth. Imagine standing by that shoreline, no longer splashing but embracing the vastness of the water, feeling its pull while letting go of fear and doubt. This transformation is where the real magic happens. The stakes are high. If you continue to engage in the endless sharing without the stillness, you risk stalling your journey. You might find yourself spinning in circles, discussing theories rather than embodying your truth. Your evolution relies on embracing the quiet spaces between thoughts, allowing them to illuminate your path forward. Now, as we venture deeper into this exploration, I invite you to recognize that sharing can often be a beautiful act. We are social beings, and connection is vital. But sometimes the most profound insights come when we stop talking and start listening to ourselves, to our environment, and to the universe at large. So ask yourself, are you ready to embrace the silence? Are you prepared to explore how this stillness can lead you to insights that words alone could never unveil? If this resonates with you, let's embark on this journey together. Now, if this resonates with you, hit subscribe because we're going deeper. Drop a comment. Have you experienced the exhaustion of endless sharing? I read everyone. So here's where it gets really interesting. Let's explore the psychological mechanism behind this pattern. When we have the impulse to share, it often stems from a deep-seated need for validation and connection. We crave that acknowledgement from others, a nod that says, "Yes, I see you, I understand your experiences." What many don't recognize is that this craving can create a kind of dependency on external approval, leading us to seek validation through discussions rather than through inner understanding. Think about it this way. Each time you share your journey, you're essentially looking for a mirror that reflects back the version of you that you're striving to become. But in that act of reaching out for affirmation, you may inadvertently put your progress on hold. Instead of reflecting on your experiences and allowing them to transform you, you might find yourself caught in perpetual analysis. This unending cycle distracts you from the internal dialogue that holds the key to genuine freedom. The hidden costs of this cycle are profound and often overlooked. You could be losing not just time, but also the opportunity to engage deeply with your authentic self. Emotional exhaustion creeps in as you find yourself continually dissecting experiences rather than allowing them to unfold within you. You might spend hours discussing the nuances of intention, the law of attraction, even the moral choices of others. But what you truly miss out on is the connection with your inner landscape, the essence of who you are beneath all that chatter. I remember a woman I once knew, a keen intellect with a mind that ran circles around most conversations. She had read every book on spiritual growth, every theory about the universe's workings. But here's the kicker. The more she talked about what she learned, the less she actually engaged with her own life. She was so busy analyzing the how and why of spiritual concepts that she neglected to simply live them. And you know what happened? One day she turned to me and said, "I feel like I'm stuck watching my life from the sidelines." That's the danger of this pattern. The deeper you dive into external conversations, the more detached you may feel from your own reality. It's like standing on the shore watching others swim while you're stuck in your thoughts, overanalyzing every wave and current. The lesson here is that intellectual understanding can't replace embodied experience. You might understand the theory of swimming, but theory won't teach you how to float. You have to venture into the water, feel the buoyancy, and trust in your ability to navigate. But here's what's truly happening when you begin to embrace silence. In those moments of quiet, you allow yourself the opportunity to peel back the layers of noise that cloud your judgment. You begin to discover deeper truths that go beyond surface-level conversations. You start to tap into a reservoir of intuition and inner wisdom, where insights arise not from external validation, but from a wellspring of personal understanding. Think about the last time you experienced a moment of clarity during deep contemplation. That moment of insight was birthed out of trust and stillness, the very opposite of analytical chatter. Now, the paradox here is that while many people feel they need validation from others, the truth is you often have all the answers you seek within yourself. When you stop sharing incessantly, you're able to listen more intently. Silence creates space for introspection, and it's in that space that transformation begins to germinate. You might be wondering, what does embracing silence actually look like in practice? It starts with carving out time in your day where you step away from conversation, both external dialogue and internal self-talk. Set intentions for these moments of silence, exploring your thoughts without judgment. Allow your intuition to surface freely. It's not about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about creating a sacred space for your own thoughts to flourish. Maybe you sit by a body of water or take a long walk in nature, purposely avoiding the impulse to fill the air with chatter. You could start with 5 minutes, then gradually increase that time, allowing thoughts to flow without interruption. What you're doing is actively engaging with your higher self, learning to trust and interpret the quiet whispers that arise from within. But it's essential to be patient with yourself. There will be times you may feel discomfort in silence. That's completely normal. In our fast-paced, always connected world, the stillness can feel daunting. However, it is in those moments of discomfort that breakthroughs can occur. You might think to yourself, what should I be doing? Or am I enough in this silence? Remember, this is a part of your journey towards self-discovery. Even as you navigate through those feelings, remind yourself of this truth. You are not defined by how much you share, but by how deeply you understand. Real transformation doesn't come from collecting opinions or insights, but from weaving your experiences into the essence of who you are. You cultivate that wisdom in the moments you spend in reflection, where thoughts can settle like dust in the air and the ground beneath becomes clearer. The more you practice this, the more you'll find that silence indeed holds a wealth of insight. You'll start recognizing patterns within yourself and your life that you may never have noticed amidst the noise. You'll begin identifying invisible barriers that keep you stuck in the cycle of conversation rather than advancement. And as you learn to embrace this, you can engage with the world in a newfound way. When you do share, you'll be doing so from a place of authenticity rather than needing validation. And that's where your growth truly happens, when every word you speak resonates from a well-cultivated, secure sense of self. So, as we continue this exploration together, I urge you to take that step toward nurturing your relationship with silence, trusting that within it lies the key to unlocking your most profound insights. You see, when you really understand what I'm talking about, when you get this at a bone-deep level, you begin to witness a remarkable transformation. When you shift your perception of silence from something to be feared into something to be cherished, you unlock a powerful reservoir of potential. It's a substantial shift, and it's where your journey takes on an entirely new dimension. Imagine standing on that shore you've been clinging to for so long, but now you're ready to let the waves wash over you, to feel the pull of the ocean, and to trust in your ability to float. Let me tell you what changes. The moment you embrace silence as a tool rather than a void, your reality begins to align with the truth of who you are. No longer are you seeking external validation or voice through others. Instead, you cultivate clarity that's been waiting to surge forth. And here's the thing. This clarity often emerges as you distill the noise around you. The stillness doesn't just provide answers, it allows you to hear the questions that matter. Ask yourself, how would your life change if you felt truly comfortable in silence? If you could sit with your thoughts and not fear what might emerge? This is the essence of the transformation that can unfold when you cultivate an authentic relationship with those quiet moments. In that space, you become a seeker of your own wisdom. You begin to recognize that you have always possessed the answers to your own questions. They've just been dormant beneath the surface, waiting for you to brave the unknown and listen. As you practice this, consider practical approaches to deepen your relationship with silence. Start incorporating mindfulness techniques into your routine. You might practice meditative breathing or engage in mindful walking, focusing solely on the sensations of your feet touching the ground and the rhythm of your breath. Each step brings you closer to the ground of being, drawing you into the present moment where clarity resides. When you make these practices part of your life, you begin to create new mental pathways. Each encounter with silence invites you to dive deeper within. You start forming a tapestry of insights that enriches your spiritual journey. Be intentional about this. Schedule time to be alone with your thoughts. Reflect on what you truly desire in the silence before you. Break away from the cycle of habitual sharing and allow your own awareness to bloom. Not every moment will be filled with profound revelations. There will be days filled with unease or nostalgia, moments when you grapple with your habits and fears. And that's okay. Understand that it's perfectly normal to experience discomfort while sitting in silence. This is not a time for criticism but for compassion. Allow that discomfort to instruct you, ask questions about itself, and reveal what it may be protecting within. What beliefs are showing up? What fears? You see, this reveals the layers of conditioning that you may be carrying, shadows that could grant you profound insight when approached gently. Here's the paradox that may surprise you. The less you try to impose understanding through discussion, the more receptive you become to life's subtleties. Trust your unfolding once you realize that silence is not empty. It carries an energy of its own, an energy that resonates at higher frequencies of awareness. As you deepen into this practice, you'll inevitably encounter common obstacles. People might express confusion when they notice you refraining from sharing your experiences. They might wonder why you've become quieter or more reflective. This is normal, but know that the vital shift is occurring in you. Communicate your journey to those who ask, but stay anchored in your understanding. You are not obligated to fill the silence with words merely to satisfy assumptions. Let those around you see that it's okay to be still. You may just inspire their own exploration of silence. In time, you'll find that moments of quiet connection with others can be just as enriching. But now, they will be built upon a foundation of solid self-understanding. Conversations will transform from being attempts at external validation to invitations where you embody your truth effortlessly and profoundly. Each word you choose will resonate with authority and authenticity. You might recall the woman I mentioned earlier, the one who felt stuck on the sidelines. The moment she embraced her silence, she found the courage to express herself in new ways. She allowed her voice to emerge not out of obligation or need for approval, but from an intrinsic desire to share her truth. Together, we navigated the waters of what it meant to be authentic in both silence and dialogue. As she began to experience insights in silence, something shifted in her demeanor. She radiated a calm energy that attracted people, constantly inquiring about her newfound sense of self. It wasn't about the number of conversations she had, it was about the depth of sincerity she acknowledged within herself. She had learned to embody her reality, and that made all the difference. Now, as we draw closer to transforming this understanding into actionable insights, I urge you to weave this philosophy into the fabric of your daily life. Let the silence inform your words and your actions. Nurture your inner landscape where your authentic self can flourish, unfettered by the incessant need to share and seek approval. You don't need to lose your voice in silence. Rather, you gain an understanding that allows your presence to speak volumes. Trust in this evolution. It will lead you to realize you hold the power to define your journey. And just like that, silence enriches your life, unlocking insights that words alone could never reveal. This is the essence of deeply understood existence, an existence where silence becomes the ultimate companion on your path to enlightenment. Embrace it, cherish it, and let it guide you toward your true self. So, let me bring this full circle. You've embarked on a journey that transforms not only how you see the world, but also how you engage with yourself. Remember when I spoke about the nature of silence and how it can unlock insights? It is essential, and it can be dangerous, especially when it reveals truths that challenge your previous understanding of yourself. But here's the beautiful part. It offers an opportunity to redefine your relationship with your own existence. You see, when you embrace silence, you're not just stepping back from noise, you are stepping into a realm of possibility. You are not expected to ignore the world around you. You are simply granting yourself permission. You are relinquishing the need to prove your worth based on what you say or how much you share. Instead, you prioritize what resonates within, and that is a truly powerful stance. What does this mean in practice? It means that you don't have to fit into any mold that society has created. You are allowed to explore your truth, even if it looks different from everyone else's. You are permitted to take the whispers of your soul seriously and give yourself the space to honor them. This liberation comes with the recognition that your voice bears authenticity when drawn from the well of inner understanding, not obligation. Take a moment and reflect. What has it taught you to embrace your silence? Often, people talk about their fears, their anxieties, constructed narratives that seem to define who they are. But in silence, you begin to unravel those narratives, exposing the real threads. You see the fears not as barriers, but as insights waiting to be acknowledged. It's in this space that the facade of who you thought you needed to be crumbles, revealing the beautiful wholeness of who you were always meant to be. Now, here's a fundamental shift. What if you viewed your silence as a sanctuary, a place not filled with absence, but filled with abundance? Realize that you do not have to communicate every thought, and that doing so may have been a conditioned response rather than a truth. You are free, and you retain your strength by celebrating both your voice and your quiet. I want you to know, this journey isn't without challenges. You will face resistance both internally and externally. People may not understand your silence. They may question your choices. But here's what I want you to understand. Their reactions stem from their conditioning, not yours. They reflect their own fears and beliefs about what encountering silence means. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your growth. Your path is uniquely yours. As you venture deeper into this exploration, acknowledge the emotions that surface. Allow them to inform you, but don't let them control you. It's about recognizing them as guides rather than rulers in your life. Affirm your right to grow at your own pace. You might feel frustration, a sense of disconnection, or a desire to revert to old patterns. This is natural, so embrace those feelings with compassion. In moments of doubt, remind yourself that transformation is a process, not a destination. The power of this journey lies in how you emerge from it. Each moment spent nurturing silence gives you a greater understanding of yourself, and in turn, you gain clarity about the world around you. You'll find that you're more in tune with others, more present, and capable of engaging with authenticity. Authentic conversations become a reflection of your inner growth, and nobody can take that away from you. Reflect on that woman once more, the one who initially felt sidelined. This journey of embracing silence transformed her not just internally, but in how she interacted with the world. Her newfound understanding fostered deeper connections with those around her. When she spoke, the sincerity in her voice resonated, inviting others into an authentic exchange of thoughts and ideas. In this evolution, there's a gentle reminder. You are not merely an observer of your experiences, you are the architect of your life. Build your world with intention, acknowledging that what you create reflects your understanding of silence, stillness, and presence. Think of this as an invitation to a deeper life engagement, one where the need to explain and rationalize is replaced with a comforting acceptance of your truth and the essence of others. So, as we wrap up this exploration together, I invite you to embrace the quiet and deepen your relationship with yourself. Take this understanding into your daily life, carrying it gently but firmly. Allow the shifts you've experienced to weave into the fabric of your being, a transformed individual navigating the world with a profound sense of peace and authenticity in every moment. And in those precious moments of silence, remember that you are not lost. You are finding your way back home, to the truth of who you are and to the life that you are meant to live. Embrace this journey, this exploration of self, and hold on to the power that arises when you become comfortable in silence. For it is in this silence that the richest truths await you. And this is where you discover the full scope of your existence, vivid, vibrant, and wholly yours.